I was on a good path and I was going where I thought I wanted to go, and then it kind of all just like fell apart, and I wasn't feeling much about anything when I was there other than like, what am I going to do tomorrow, or what am I going to do today? And I think maybe towards the end of all of that, I started to feel really purposeless and like empty and like, I don't know, like very unsatisfied with what I had let myself become, I guess. My name is Rayana, and I am a graduate of the New Life program. I grew up in California, in a city that's kind of small, somewhere in between like LA and San Diego, so it's pretty close to the big cities, but we were poor. Like, we were not, didn't have a lot of money, but it was still pretty good. Like, my mom did the best she could with what she had, and I was always pretty provided for. Started experimenting with drugs and alcohol when I was very young. I was hanging around the wrong girls, you know. They smoked cigarettes and weed and drank, so that's kind of where all that started. I was on drugs for a long time, and I was very sick. I was in and out of the hospital for like roughly 2 years, and I wasn't getting any better, and obviously the drugs didn't help with that. Prior to becoming very sick, I had kind of known there was something wrong, but I was kind of ignoring it. And at some point it just got so bad that like there was no ignoring it, and I wasn't working. I hadn't spoke with anybody that I loved or cared about, any friends or family, for years. I kind of just dropped off the face of the earth, and I was just tired of it. Like, I felt so alone, and I just missed feeling like I meant something, or like I was cared about. I had wanted to get clean, and my dad reached out to me, and I went, and he helped me get clean, but I knew that wasn't enough, you know? Like, I knew that being clean wasn't, like, getting sober wasn't going to help me if I didn't make a lifestyle change. And so I reached out to my stepdad, and he actually was living next door to the Reverend Bill Roscoe. And so they had spoken, and he called me up and he said, I've got a great opportunity for you. You know, like, I live next door to this guy, and he's a really great guy, and he runs this whole big thing where they do all this, and they have a great success rate, and this is what it is, and I know it's the hard thing, but like, and I know, he pretty much told me, I know you're not gonna come because it's the hard thing, but if you come, I'll support you. And I was like, yeah, why not? You know, I didn't have anywhere else to go. It was doing this, or it was more than likely going back to the life I was living, and I really don't want that. I've never lived out of state from California until now. It's everything I know, all my resources, everybody I've ever known in my whole life is there. And so it was really scary for me to want to come out here, but I don't know, I remember looking it up online, checking it out, and I just remember kind of thinking like, I've never done anything like this, and it's time to like take a leap of faith, or, you know, step out of my comfort zone, because my comfort zone was not good for me. Came in around Christmas time, and Christmas is my favorite holiday, so I immediately already was like, great. The tree was up, and it was just so homey, and there were so many like children and mothers. I don't know them or anything, and I don't spend a lot of time with those, you know, women with children, but like immediately, you know, everybody was very sweet and kind, and there was so much cheer and like love going on, and like all this things about Christmas that I absolutely adore. So that made it actually probably a little more comforting for me, I think. I was a pretty established atheist most of my life. Like, that's what it was, and that's what I always thought it was, and I never really like cared to look outside of that box. But I also didn't have a whole lot of reason for that, you know? I think it was maybe just being young, and maybe just the influences around me also, like the lifestyle I was living. But coming into the program, I knew that it was a Christian discipleship, and that was probably a little scary for me, just the way I had been living my life and how I'd always kind of felt about what God is supposed to be. But I was open to it, and everything is different. I have definitely built that relationship. I mean, it's not like probably the strongest. I'm still like a baby Christian, but you know, I'm working on it, and there's something different. It feels different than whatever I felt before. It's just not the same at all. It took me a while getting into scripture and doing, you know, some of the curriculum that we do before I really understood it. You know, it didn't make a lot of sense, but just the selflessness and the unconditional love, you know, that God still loves me and that He's willing to give so much and pour so much into me, even though I've done all these other things that aren't worthy and will never be worthy of that kind of love, is probably the biggest thing. I think I feel very proud of myself. Which is like kind of hard. I've always been kind of like not very comfortable talking about that because I've felt like I shouldn't, I don't like feeling like celebrated or like I should be feeling good about myself about something that I probably should have did right the first time. So it was very hard for me to feel like, you know, here I am and I'm graduating now and I've got these things that I want to do and I plan to do and I'm feeling good about myself because like I always felt like, you know, I should have did that right the first time. But, you know, I'm learning that it's okay to be proud of yourself for, you know, your accomplishments. Like, we all make mistakes. I think I've learned that I'm not in control. I can't take care of myself the way that I think I can. That I need help and it's okay to ask for help. And that I spent a lot of time thinking that I had it put together and that I could maintain and manage my own life, but I need more than just myself. If I want to be successful and be the person that I'm meant to be. Thank you for all your blessings and thank you for all the support, and just keep doing what you're doing because you're changing lives.